Hello, friends. Intuitive Rene here, bringing you tarot scopes for the month of June 2022. June is here. It has arrived, and I hope you have survived this far. It's been a crazy year. I want to use the word whirlwind, but I don't want to actually use that word because it's such a horrible one. But it has been one of those years, hasn't it? Just when we think we get a handle on things, just when we think things are okay, something happens and we completely shifted off course again. So I think it's another reason why these tarot scopes are proving to be ever so popular. Last month, I think you all really enjoyed your tarot scopes. I had terrible audio last month, and I do apologize for that. But I assure you those problems are fixed and resolved, and we will have no audio problems going forward. So we're recording June 2022 tarot scopes. If this is the first time that you are looking at tarot scopes or watching tarot scopes with me, welcome. Let me just explain to you how it works so that you have an idea of what you've actually what's in store for you with the next couple of minutes. So I record one intro video, that's this one. So every single of the 12 tarot scopes that I do all get the same intro added in front of the video. Then I turn the camera around so that you're looking straight at the table, and I do the reading from there. So you don't get to see my face during the reading. Not important at that point. What's important is the cards. So we switch the camera around so that you get the hands down top version of the table so that you can see the cards that we do. The reading that I'm going to do for you is the same format or layout as what I did last month in May. Because I just thought it gave us so much. There was just so much information there, and relevant, appropriate information, and not, not light-hearted stuff. It was like real. And I thought that was quite good. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to stick to the same format. The only difference that I'm doing this month are the cards that I'm working with, and I've also added in another set of cards. So we're going to start off with the main tarot deck that I'm going to work with this time around is this beautiful Meraki Tarot is what it's called. Meraki Tarot has just finished off its second Kickstarter, which means edition 2, version 2 or second edition is coming out at the end of the year. I am so excited to get my hands on that. I love my Meraki Tarot. So we're going to be using that one this month. I am partnering or pairing it with Oracle decks, and I have got the Divine Energy Oracle by Sonia, and I am also using the Angels and Ancestors Oracle by Kyle Gray. So I think with all of these, we're going to get really awesome readings, awesome messages. So the idea behind the tarot scopes is that I record 12 separate individual readings, one for each sign of the zodiac. So starting at Aries, going all the way through to Pisces and covering everybody in between. Before I start the recording, I do set the intention that it be appropriate or relevant for your sun, moon, and rising. So if you know a little bit about your astrology and you know what your moon sign is and you know what your rising sign is, if you watch those videos as well, it will give you a little bit more insight. I encourage you as well to watch the video for your family and friends. So if you want to know what's going on with your partner, if you want to know what's going on with anybody, in your life, you can check out their tarot scope as well to get a bit of insight into what they're dealing with. Because sometimes what I've noticed is if you're aware of what other people are going through, and if you're mindful of what's happening in their lives, you adjust your reaction or your response to them appropriately, which means communication gets easier, which means connection gets easier, which means relationship is easier. And so sometimes it's nice to know what kind of stuff the other person is going through, so that you understand yourself and you understand everybody else around you. And when we do that, we work in synergy with each other. And I think that's so important. If you want to know how to jump around, the way that I do it on YouTube is I do create a playlist. So there will be a June 2022 playlist that will have all 12 videos in it. But if you open up the little description below, I will have the links to each of the 12 videos in the description below. So it makes it easy for you to navigate and jump around. These videos are free, they are public, they are open to everybody. All I ask from you is, if you do enjoy the content, to give the video a thumbs up. A comment is always appreciated, and if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. When you do that, subscribe to the channel and push the like button and comment, you're basically helping my channel grow on YouTube. You're helping to let YouTube know that, my content is not so bad, and that maybe YouTube should recommend me to other people. So if you want to help me, subscribe, like, and comment on the channel. And for those of you who have found the new, what they call super thanks feature and have used it, thank you. I'm so appreciative of the donations. I'm so appreciative of the show of support. It's not necessary for anybody to do, but I do appreciate everybody who has used the feature. It's a new feature on YouTube. It's only been on my channel for a couple of weeks, and I've already had quite a few people show their appreciation and their gratitude by dropping a little super thanks in the box, and I do appreciate every single one of you. So we're going to turn the camera around. We're going to get started off. And I look forward to seeing what May 2022 has in store for you. All right, Gemini, let's get into your reading and let's have a look and see what the month of June 2022 has in store for you. So I have got the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck in my hands. That's the one that I am shuffling with right now. We're going to start off with this deck just to set the tone, just to set the kind of the tone for the reading. So as I shuffle the Angels and Ancestors deck, we are looking for a single card as inspiration and as foundation for the reading for all Gemini energy for the month of June 2022. So I did give the deck a proper shuffle before I started, but I do like to just do a little shuffle while I have you on camera. And there we have a card. Let's have a look. So Gemini, let's have a look. Gosh, I can't even pick it up. Let's have a look and see message from the Angels and Ancestors for Gemini energy for June 2022. We have got the Earth Guardian. Stay rooted and grounded. I love the green energies. I love that crystal that he has in his third eye. Isn't it just gorgeous? This artwork. Beautiful. The tattoos that we have all down his arm over here. I love that he has his hand on his heart. Okay, so he's got his left hand positioned on his heart, and I'll go and do that too, like you can see that. He's got his hand positioned on his heart, and he's staying rooted and grounded in who he is, in what he is, in what he's going through, and what he's experiencing in life. And being quite practical. That is a word. Whenever I see earth, whenever I see green, whenever I see rooted and grounded, immediately I think practical. We have to be practical in whatever we're doing in life, whatever we're going through, whatever we're accomplishing, whatever is happening. We need to be practical, not only practical about the outcome, but practical about our method, the reason for getting involved, the what you're doing, the how you're doing it, and the outcome. If we're not practical around what we're doing, if we're being impractical, if we're doing things because we feel like we should, out of obligation or out of many other things, we're not going to have as much success. But when we are logical, when we are practical, when we are rooted and grounded in reality, in connecting to your heart space and connecting to yourself, that is when you're going to have more opportunity for success. All right, so I have the tarot deck in front of me, and I'm going to give it a shuffle while I carry on talking about Earth Angel. So, and I'm going to lay out all the cards that we need for the reading from the tarot deck, and only once I have all 9 of them laid out will I actually turn them over and start the reading. So Earth Guardian, so I'm saying Earth Angel the whole time, and I just realized now that I can't read, and it actually says Earth Guardian, so I do apologize for that. So Earth Guardian is saying that, you have the support, you have that connection, that there is going to be, and I'm going to actually go back to Angel. There is going to be this Earth Angel that's going to be connecting with you, that's going to be around you, that may help you to process whatever it is that you're going through, to keep you rooted and grounded in your situations and in your circumstances. But we're going to have the Earth Guardian as a constant reminder, companion, for the whole month of June, which is the month that we're looking at, in just trying to identify and trying to remember, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? Why do we have this need and this desire to do whatever it is that we are doing? What is the, I almost want to call it the motive behind our behavior, the motive behind our actions? Are we doing things out of greed, out of ego, out of obligation, or out of the fact that it's the right thing to be doing? We need to make sure that everything that we do, Gemini, for the month of June, you need to make sure that everything you do is right, is valid, is appropriate, is correct, rooted and grounded. So it's not about doing too much, but it's not about doing too little. It's about finding the right amount. It's about finding the right things to do at the right times for the right reasons, and not because of fear or insecurities or doubts or anything like that. So we're going to allow the Earth Guardian to guide us, to help us as we navigate June 2022, to make sure that we are doing only what is appropriate, only what is relevant, and nothing more than that. Right, tarot cards are laid out. So, Gemini, I always try and make it neat and it never really works. Let's get into it and let's have a look. So our first card that we have, Gemini, this is the card of who you are as you step into the month. So as the 1st of June 2022 comes around, what are you dealing with? What are you going through? Who are you at that point? So this is a card that represents you at the 1st of June 2022, and we have the Knight of Wands. So this is you. You are this little fox. And you can see that he is jumping. Foxes don't jump that high. Yes, they are quite agile, and yes, they can jump, but not higher than the treetops. Right up here where we have a bird that seems to be carrying, I don't know what that is, a little bit of flowers, a little branch of something. Knight of Wands is about action, and it's about jumping forward. It's about leaping into a thing. It's about not overthinking it, not over strategizing. It's about having a plan, absolutely, but it's just about action. It's about the doing. It's about the rushing into a thing, working through a thing without too much sitting and strategizing. It's just like, you know what, let's just get this going. Let's just get busy. And again, Earth Guardian reminding us to stay rooted and grounded, is saying maybe you're coming into the month rushing. Okay, I definitely get a rushing kind of energy with that particular card. And Earth Guardian is to remind you, is here to tell you, this would maybe not be the best way to start the month off. Don't rush into anything unless you are completely clear as to what it is, why it is, how it is, and what your action or your part to play is. Don't rush into things just because you feel like it's the right thing to do. We need to stay grounded and rooted. So this is how you come into the month. 1st of June, this is what you are. This is what you're feeling like. This is the kind of energy around you. But let's have a look and see what the theme for the month actually is. So what is your theme, Gemini, for the month of June 2022? And we have got the Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles, here we have these cute little bunnies, and they are jumping in the air. There's a lot of this. Here we had our Earth Guardian telling us be grounded, be rooted. And here we had the fox that was jumping or leaping into the sky. And here we've got bunnies doing much the same. So quite interesting, Gemini. It's like really Earth Guardian saying, come back down to earth, come back down. Let's be real. Let's be practical. Let's not just be, jumping all over the place. Page of Pentacles is somebody who is practical, is somebody who is grounded and rooted. But, sometimes we can get a bit carried away with the enthusiasm behind what we're doing. And again, little bunny rabbits, they are earthbound. They are, they do walk the earth, but they do also have this ability to jump, to leap, and to be up in the air. So the theme for the month is that, yeah, you are going to be a little bit, I'm going to use the phrase all over the place, but we've got our Earth Guardian who's going to help us to be rooted, grounded, to stay there and not be carried away in the wind. And it's interesting, the theme that's coming through there. All right. Our next card that we're looking at here, Gemini, is something that you will accomplish, something that you need to accomplish during the month of June 2022. And you need to accomplish, and here we have the Seven of Swords. And again, the artwork, this particular deck is just truly exquisite. So here we have a bird in flight carrying a basket, and the basket contains swords. You can see that the bird is focused, determined, flying through. And if you have a look, we're flying out of the rain. Can you see that? We have this waterfall here, the rain that's happening on this side of the card, but this side of the card is clear. Now, I also want you to note in the background here that these two swords still in the ground. Even though the bird has got a basket, even though the bird is carrying the basket and seems to be coping, seems to be managing quite okay, the bird wasn't able to achieve everything that he thought he could or needed to, because as much as the basket is big enough, maybe it's the weight of the basket that, or the weight of the swords, I should say, that he didn't take into consideration. So Seven of Swords to me is the card of not always being able to handle, to do, to accomplish everything that you set out to do, because circumstances shift and change all the time. So this is something that you will accomplish. So even though it seems like the odds are against you, even though it seems like everything's up in the air, rain coming down on you, okay? Even though it seems like an impossibility, if you take a minute to strategize, if you take a minute to think, if you take a minute to be rooted and grounded and logical in your approach, in your method, in your process, you won't have to leave anything behind. You will be able to accomplish everything that you need to do. But he didn't just wake up and jump and try and go and grab swords. He thought about it and he's grabbed himself a basket, but he still didn't think it through very carefully, because he knew he wanted a lot, and he knew that, well, he didn't realize the weight of the swords. So he may need to do a second trip. The rain is coming, but he is flying out of it. He's leaving the hardships, because he is not being greedy, because he's not trying to take it all. He is being rooted, grounded, logical, and practical in the way that he is handling things. And Gemini, that is you. What will you accomplish this month? You will accomplish a lot, as long as you're not being greedy, excessive, or trying to take too much, and as long as you're being practical around everything that you do. Okay. So Gemini, our next two cards that we look at, these two positions are, to me, it's like the crux of the whole reading, because it's something that you need to avoid during the month, and it's something that you need to embrace during the month. So let's have a look. What should you avoid at all costs during the month of June? Let's have a look and see what we've got. King of Cups. Very interesting. This is now not the first time that this card has come up in this position during June Taroscope. So very interesting. It seems like a lot of us are needing to avoid this. So this is the card of avoidance, the card of what needs to be avoided, and it's the King of Cups. Now, King of Cups is here. This is the king over here. He's jumped out of the water. He has got this cup on his back, and you can see that this cup is glowing. This cup contains magic. He has stepped out of his comfort zone. He has stepped out of what he is, but he is still, even though he's putting on a show for anybody that's watching, he's still very much in control of that cup. That cup contains his life force. It contains his emotion. So the King of Cups is the card of being in control of your emotions. It's the card that says to you, be very much aware of everybody around you, but recognize that you are superior, recognize that you are better, recognize that you have a lot of influence on the people around you. But this is something that we need to avoid. Now, with the King of Cups, the fact that that cup is so golden and so illuminated, to me, it's like excess, not rooted and grounded, not being practical in themselves or in anything that they're doing. It's about ego. Okay, so you need to make sure, Gemini, that you avoid ego at all costs during the month. Yes, we know that you could do all sorts of things. Yes, we know that with a little bit of planning, a little bit of strategy, you can achieve so much. But if you've got too much ego involved, if you're trying to show off a little bit too much, you are going to come a cropper. You are going to fall short. You are going to suffer. So hand on your heart. Be honest with yourself. Be real with yourself. Be rooted and grounded in who and what you are. And don't show off. Avoid that at all costs. Let's see, Gemini, because the story will become clearer as we go. The next one we have is something that you need to embrace. So that is something you need to avoid. And now we're going to look at something to embrace during the month. And for you, it's the Justice card. Oh, I love that. So Justice is so interesting. We've got a scale developing here. We've got the Sword of Truth in the center, and then we've got a scale on either end. They look absolutely equal, ideal, what's the word I'm looking for? Exactly the same, except this one's got like a green in it and this one's got like a pink in it, okay? So we don't know which way it's going to go. Here is the hand of truth leading to the sword of truth. And we don't know which way it's going to go. It could swing that way or it could swing that way. One thing we do know is that once the decision has been made, Once, no, actually not the decision. I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm going to change it. Once we know who and what we are, once we know which way we're going, there's no going back on that. That's what I'm getting. Embrace truth, embrace integrity, embrace who you are. Don't try and be somebody that you're not. Because honestly, Gemini, I'm going to say to you, you're not about ego. I know that. Okay. A lot of people may misinterpret that because you are social, outgoing, charismatic, amazing souls. That's your personality. That is the Gemini personality. You are the kind of person who always wants to do for others, always wants to jump into action and get things done and help people. You don't do it from a place of ego, but sometimes it can be misinterpreted as being done from a place of ego. So we need to avoid that. We need to stay honest and true to who we are. And I think the Justice card next to the Earth Guardian of rooted and groundedness makes sense, because both of these are actually the same thing. You need to embrace truth, embrace integrity, embrace who you are at the core of your being, and forget about what other people may think. Forget about other people's judgment. Other people's judgment doesn't come to play here. But when it comes to you doing anything this month, you need to make sure that you're doing things for the right reasons. You need to question your motives, if I can use those words. And I think that's why we're avoiding that, because his motive was to show off. All right? Pure and simple. His motive was to show off, and we need to avoid showing off. We need to stick, we need to make sure that everything that we're doing comes from the right place by staying rooted and grounded in who we are, in what we are. So again, Gemini, hand on your heart. Don't fool yourself. Don't con yourself. Don't try and say, oh, but it will be fine. No. Honest, truth, integrity, first and foremost. Nothing else matters. If you ignore justice, if you ignore truth above all else, if you ignore the truth, there's no other way of saying it. If you ignore the truth, that rain is going to follow you. That storm is going to follow you, and you are not going to achieve what you need to achieve. So, hand on your heart. Ask yourself, am I being true to me? Okay. So, embrace integrity, truth, honesty, pure heart. Embrace that. Good. We're coming down the bottom here now, and Gemini, this card is a card that's going to show an obstacle that you will need to overcome during the month of June. So let's have a look. What is an obstacle that you will need to overcome during the month? And we have got the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is the card I refer to as the opulence card. So I mean, here we have this fox who has got a glorious thick coat of fur on him, but it's not enough. He feels like he wants more. He feels like he wants extra. So he has covered himself in another blanket, and you can see that it is a thick, glorious, beautiful blanket. And doesn't he have that kind of like smug look on his face? I mean, I think he's gorgeous, but you know, he's sitting there going, look at me, I'm so warm and I'm so cozy and I'm so fabulous. As an obstacle, the way that I interpret this card for you, Gemini, as an obstacle, and I have to bring it back to all of this. The obstacle is ego, okay? And the obstacle that you need to avoid is to make sure that you're not taking things too far, that you're not doing too much. Let's go back to what you will accomplish during the month of June. And what I was saying to you here is this bird has gone to collect swords. And I made you notice and acknowledge that there were these two swords left behind, but the bird is not focusing on that. The bird is he's moving on. He's still flying forward. He realizes that he has enough. And if he doesn't have enough, he knows that he can, at a later stage, come back for those two. But he's not hopping on. He's not focused on what he's leaving behind. He's focused on where he's going. So what is something, Gemini, that you will accomplish during the month is you will accomplish to take and to get and to have and to do that which you need at a minimum. All right? Because you are going to be rooted and grounded, honest and full of integrity. We're not going to show off. We're not going to think that we're better than anybody else. And an obstacle that you have to overcome is feeling like you need, want, or deserve more than. And again, I know you're not full of ego. I know you're not. Okay? It's not in your nature, Gemini. But sometimes we do things for the wrong reasons. And we are going to question our reasons. We're going to question our rationale. We're going to question our heart space, our soul. We're going to place our hand on our heart all the time. And we're going to ask ourselves, who are we? What are we? What is important? What is important? What do I need? Do I need that extra blanket right now? Or is there somebody else who could use it instead? Or am I just wanting to put it on now to show off a little bit? Interesting. Very interesting. I honestly, Gemini, at this point, I'm going to say to you that please, if however this unfolds for you during the month, come back and tell me. I'm so curious to see how this unfolds for you. So comment below and let me know. I'm dying to know. Right. Let's have a look at our next card. So next we have is support. So this is based on everything that we've got going on for you this month. What support is available to you? Who and what is available to help you navigate the month of June 2022? And the support that you have is the Queen of Pentacles. And you know what? Queen of Pentacles, she is the Earth Guardian. I mean, there is just, I know that looks like a male masculine energy, but Queen of Pentacles, and I look at this, and doesn't that look like a smiley face? I mean, I know they're birds, birds flying in the wreath, but to me, it's like eyes, and a smiley mouth are always, every single time I see this card, I see this as this cute little smiley face in the clouds. Queen of Pentacles, she is so down to earth. She is so grounded and rooted and practical. Queen of Pentacles, if I had to describe Queen of Pentacles, she's the kind of person where you can arrive at her house at any time of the day or night, and she would have a couple of pots of food on the go, and she would be able to feed you, she'd be able to clothe you. She's the kind of person who has, anytime you say, oh, you know what, I wanted this thing for my house, and she'd go, here, I have it. The Queen of Pentacles is the person who has solutions to everything. She's the person who knows how to do everything, who does everything so well. And Gemini, this is the support that's available to you. So please understand that when you're feeling like things are going too far, when you feel like you're teetering on the edge of whatever, when you feel like you're moving in the wrong direction or want to come back to the right, your Queen of Pentacles, your Earth Guardian, will show themselves, will reveal themselves to you, and will help you to stay clear of the storm. So the support that's available to you is somebody who is very logical, very practical, very down to earth, somebody who's going to speak truth to you, somebody who's going to, if you ask a question, they're just going to be honest and upfront. They're not going to cloud you with nonsense. They're going to speak truth. So you do have that support available to you. You do have an Earth Guardian watching over you all the time. I love that, Gemini. Absolutely love that. Next we have is an action. So this is an action or something that you actually have to do during the month of, like an action step that you have to take to initiate the month, to help you navigate all your challenges. Let's have a look and see what is the action for you in the month of, and we have, oh, I love that, the Empress. So here we have this beautiful, I mean, just look at it. I love the little bunny rabbit here, the little birdie there, the huge big crown. There's just such a status here, isn't there? Just such a power, just such a gentleness, because I get silence. I don't hear anything when I look at this card. I get silence, but I get strength. I get loving, nurturing, golden, beautiful energy. No judgment. All right. Now, when we look at the Empress card, the Empress is the card of life, of birth, of whatever. And I think even though Gemini, even though the reading has been fairly tough, okay, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, even though the reading has been fairly tough and fairly, I'm going to use the word brutal, it hasn't been all about happiness and joy. It's like you've got some difficult things to navigate for the month of June, but the action for you is to recognize that you are the creator of your own destiny, that you are the one who sets the tone, you are the one who initiates, you are the one who makes things happen, you are the one that's in control, you are the one that everybody looks to. So recognize that and use that to your advantage to create a life for yourself that you want. Everybody's looking at you, everybody's looking up to you, so acknowledge your position, acknowledge that you are Earth Guardian to many people as well, and that is something that you need to react on, that is something that you need to move on. And Gemini, our final card, tarot card, not our final card, our final tarot card, is just additional advice that Spirit have for you. So based on everything that we've covered, based on everything that we've said, what is additional advice and guidance that Spirit have for you? And here we have the Seven of Pentacles. I have to giggle. Seven of Pentacles is the card of patience. And like, OMG, I don't know about you, Gemini, but patience is a difficult virtue, isn't it indeed? So Seven of Pentacles is the card of patience. It's the card of recognizing that you reap what you sow. What you plant today, you will reap, you know, a month, a year, what decade down the line. But it is the card of recognizing that we do need to think about the bigger picture. We do need to think about the bigger story and realize that we don't just do today what we want today. I want to bring it back to this particular card of what you will accomplish. And it's basically saying to you that a plan and a strategy is absolutely necessary. And if you plan and strategize correctly, you will achieve everything that you need to and so much more. So Gemini, we're not done yet because I still have this deck, and I did give this deck a shuffle before I started recording your session, but I do like to shuffle while I have you on camera. So this is the Divine Energy Oracle, and these cards have just got words on them. There's no images, there's no pictures, and we're just looking for just a final kind of confirmation, a final kind of message from Spirit around June 2022 for all Gemini energy. Okay. Cutting the deck and taking one off the top. Let's have a look and see what we have. Final message from Spirit for all Gemini energy. Admit your vulnerabilities. And I think that's exactly what Earth Guardian is there for. I think that's exactly what our Queen of Pentacles is there for, is to help you admit your vulnerabilities, help you to realize that you don't have to be superhero, that you don't have to be King of Cups to everybody, you don't have to be in control of everybody all the time, that sometimes it's okay to have to wait, to be patient. Sometimes we want that extra blanket, even though it's maybe not quite the right thing for us. Sometimes we have to stick with what's right, but we have to feel our heart. We have to put our heart on our hands on our heart, and we have to feel our vulnerabilities. We have to admit our vulnerabilities. So if you're afraid, Gemini, don't be afraid to say so. If you are nervous, don't be afraid to say so. Whatever you're dealing with this month, admit them to yourself first and foremost, because only once you've admitted them to yourself, only then can you actually deal with it on a bigger scheme. But make sure that we're doing everything for the right reasons, for the right intentions, and make sure that you're being honest with yourself above all else. Gemini, I can't wait to hear from you. I can't wait to hear how June turns out. So far, I think, you know what, I'm going to leave it in your hands. You know what's happening. You know what you need to do. I look forward to hearing from you. With love and blessings, from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, Gemini.